Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And a deacon in the Catholic Church. And not surprisingly, we talk about being a Catholic in a contemporary world that's a lot of times hostile to Catholic teachings and to Catholics in general. That's really not a big surprise in some areas, but we did have to talk about the abortion issue because the whole issue of replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to turn on nothing but abortion. It's not the quality or the character or the intellect of the potential nominee. It's how they see abortion. Period. End of story. Joe's been talking about Rerum Novarum because I've wanted to talk about Rerum Novarum for a long time, but I did think we needed to make reference to the passing of Justice Ginsburg. Rerum Novarum, by the way, is I can never say this right. Is a piece put out by Pope Leo XIII in the 19th century. Rerum Novarum is Latin for on the condition of labor. And it insists, and I'll put in a nutshell, it insists on better treatment of workers and the poor. It is a moral failing on business, according to Pope Leo, and frankly, the Catholic Church, if you do not provide a decent living for your employees. Now, that kind of flies in the face of most free market capitalist thinking. What can we say about Rerum Novarum, Joe?
Oh, we can say that Rerum Novarum changed the approach to economics in the capitalistic world.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And because it spelled out so clearly what were the evils of the early industrial revolution and of capitalism. The working conditions of children, women, the poor were abhorrent, and the Leo XIII saw that, and he saw that across the globe, and he said, this must stop. And he said, you are obliged, if you're a follower of Christ, to treat those who work for you respectfully. And what does being treated respectfully mean? This is his language, not mine. A man should make a living wage which allows him to support his wife and children in a pleasant manner. Wow. Think about that today. Since the last time we came as close as we are today to the distribution of wealth in our country between the poor and the wealthy was just before the Great Depression started.
Yes.
And we've exceeded that now. How is it possible that a man and a woman have both got to go to work for a corporation in order to make ends meet, to put food on the table, to put clothing on their kids, to educate their kids, to have housing, but yet the CEO of that company makes 1,000 times more than the man and the wife together?
Oh, yeah.
But where's the justice in that?
There is no justice in that.
And you know, Abraham Lincoln was right. We will get the kind of government in this country that we deserve.
Yes, and we have it.
we will get it. One way or the other, we're either the good or the bad. We will get what we deserve.
Joe, I just got to throw out there, I have for years blamed the two-party system. The two-party system got us Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Now, they are imperfect choices. Before that, it was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. We had Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, on and on and on. Nobody really wanted those people to be president, but these are the two choices that were presented to us. And that is a massive failure of the two-party system, and we have to look past it.
Well, Michael, that's certainly a point of view, and I appreciate it.
Oh, I know. No, nobody ever really wants to do that.
Well, you know what? You know, it's probably painfully obvious to all of our listeners that I probably would declare myself to be a Democrat, okay? But I am a firm believer that we need the Republican Party. We absolutely need a party of the loyal opposition who is bringing to bear their points of view in a responsible and helpful manner. Because, you know, the Chinese have a proverb that says, love your enemy, for he will tell you your faults.
Yes, they will.
And I think that is so important. It is so important. We forget. I mean, I can remember as a young boy growing up, my dad, some of his very, very good friends were across the aisle from him. And he liked them and respected, you know, Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. You know, they're done battling at the end of the day. They wind up in the White House having cocktails together, talking about where they would like to see the country go. Wow, marvelous.
That used to be the case. That used to be the case, certainly. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan used to get along quite well. And that was the norm at the time. But I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think members of the Senate and Congress sit around and have a few drinks or play tennis together anymore. I remember the 1988 vice presidential debate, as you do.
I was going to say, excuse me for interrupting, but that's just Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. If you follow Reagan back to the beginning, that just goes to show you what two Irish Catholics can accomplish.
There you go. I think Reagan was an Irish Protestant, but I don't know. Maybe
he was an Irish Protestant, but his roots were somewhere else, my friend.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. I just remember the 1988 vice presidential debate between Senator Lloyd Bentsen and Senator Dan Quayle. And Senator Quayle was going on and on and on about Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy said this, and Jack Kennedy did that. And Senator Bentsen turned to him, and this is not verbatim, but he said, Senator Quayle, I served with Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine, and I want to tell you, you're no Jack Kennedy. And the crowd just blew up, you know. The crowd just laughed like hell.
Yeah.
And Quayle was certainly rattled. But the point I'm getting to is 2 days later, Bentsen and Quayle were seen playing tennis together and getting along quite well. And that's the way things were then. You could really slam each other, but at the end of it, you just laughed it off and went and played tennis and had a couple of lemonades.
Yeah, I did not know that Paul Harvey rest of the story that you just provided me with. Thank you. But that doesn't surprise me because they were both in the Senate, and the Senate at that time was very collegial. Now, I know that arguments can be made that that's the problem, the collegiality. But we now see what happens when there is no collegiality. And I don't think any of us really like what's going on in Washington.
Oh, I hate it. I hate to see what's happening to my country. This country accepted people. We accepted each other. You mentioned the greatest generation. A lot of people, Catholic and Jew and Protestant, went to fight in the war, and they saw what damage that ethnic and religious hatred can do. I mean, the pictures of the concentration camps were shocking. The pictures of the battlefields, the towns destroyed, the hungry children, shocking, all because of ethnic hatred, all because of religious hatred. They did not want to bring that home with them. They did not want to bring that home to them. To their concern.
Absolutely. And Michael, when you stop and look at this, just look at it from a historical perspective. Nowhere else on the planet is there such a melting pot as there is in the United States of America. We are all immigrants. None of us, you know, when you travel the world, and I've been fortunate enough in my life, particularly as a student, to travel the world. When you go to Italy, you say, what are you? I'm an Italian. I'm an Englishman. I'm Welsh. I'm Scots. When you come to America, your lineage may be Italian, Croat, Irish, German, Japanese, Chinese, but you know what? I'm an American. Nowhere else in the world does that happen. What a great experiment we have. And I think we're on the cusp of throwing the baby out with the bathwater on that experiment.
Yes. Yes, the divisions have gotten too deep. And the reason those divisions are so deep is because political actors have found that emotion drives people to the ballot box. And so if we can get you as angry as possible, because Richard Nixon said it, hatred motivates far better. Hatred and anger motivate far better than love. And he knew it. And he drove his voters, and he's hardly the only one. He drove voters to the ballot box because of that reason.
Yeah. And you know, that's in many respects, Michael, that is the way of the world. You know, Christ had a different philosophy. His philosophy was that love motivates, love drives, love is the answer. You know, I think that's a Beatles song, isn't it?
Well,
love is the answer.
Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Well, you know what happened to Jesus and John Lennon, who sang that song, right? Jesus was crucified and Lennon was shot.
Exactly. But you know, my hallucination is the Lord's going to get the last laugh, Michael.
Well, that could be. That would. My mom always believed that. Maybe we're poor and maybe we're downtrodden and maybe we are suffering from anti-Catholic prejudice. But boy, I'll tell you, in the afterlife, there's going to be a reckoning. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Jesus is going to say, "All right, Lutherans."
No. I think what Jesus Christ is going to say is, "I'm going to pull back the veil. I'm going to let you see every deed, every word that was spoken, and what effect that had on your fellow man." And we're going to have the opportunity to see just in how truly important we were to bringing order to the universe after the fall of Adam and Eve. And I think we're going to be hugely embarrassed and hugely remorseful and hugely desirous of gaining the Lord's mercy. But that's just me.
I hope that's right. That's traditional Catholic thinking. I hope you're right. You know, going back to where we were in the last segment, just for a moment, I see I was sent one of these Facebook memes or whatever they are, and it has a picture of a young woman, an attractive young woman, looking pained and sorrowful, and the tagline is, "I was raped by whoever Trump picks to replace Ginsburg on the Supreme Court." Whoever it is, I was raped by the nominee.
Yeah, we have no, civility. You know, there are wonderful things which we've experienced with the internet. Access to knowledge around the world, instantaneous communication. But also the anonymity that comes with it can be, it can be so devastating to the order that we like to have.
Yes, sir. Joe Coleman, we're going to have to cover it just a couple of minutes short here today, but I look forward to speaking with you again next Monday at 3:40.
Always a pleasure, Michael. God bless you and all of your listeners.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
How can Staples help you get back to business?
By printing you new signs for the times.
Staples can help prepare your business for the new normal